From deserts and grasslands to ancient temples and alien-looking lakes, circles appear where they shouldn't, vast, perfect shapes that defy explanation. Whether formed by nature, humans, or something else entirely, these are the world's most mysterious circles you can only truly appreciate from the sky. The Namib Desert Fairy Circles, Namibia. Stretching across the remote grasslands of the Namib Desert, one of the oldest and driest places on Earth, lies a phenomenon so strange it seems artificial. For hundreds of miles, the land is covered with thousands of near-perfect circles of bare red earth, each encircled by a lush ring of grass. These are the Namib Fairy Circles, one of nature's most haunting riddles. Each circle measures anywhere from a few feet to nearly 30 feet across, and from the sky, they form mesmerizing honeycomb-like patterns across the desert floor. Their precision is uncanny, as if something had stamped or scorched them into existence, yet no one has ever seen one forming. Scientists have spent decades trying to decode their origin. One theory blames sand termites, tiny desert engineers that may clear vegetation above their nests to collect and store water. But while this explains part of the mystery, it doesn't account for the massive, evenly spaced patterns stretching for miles. Another theory points to self-organization among plants. In extreme drought conditions, grasses may naturally space themselves out to survive, forming repeating patches of life and death, a geometric survival pattern etched by nature itself. Still, some researchers suggest hidden gas emissions or soil chemistry could play a role, subtly shaping where the circles appear. Crop circles, England and beyond. They appear without warning, vast, intricate designs pressed into fields of wheat, barley, or corn. One day the fields look ordinary. The next, they're covered in perfect geometry, spirals, mandalas, fractals, and symbols so precise they seem drawn by a machine, not a human hand. These are the crop circles, one of the strangest and most hotly debated mysteries ever seen from above. The phenomenon surged in the 1970s and 1980s, particularly across southern England, near ancient sites like Stonehenge and Avebury. From the air, the formations were astonishing, massive circles and interlocking patterns laid out with mathematical precision, some spanning hundreds of feet. The symmetry and artistry seemed beyond what anyone could accomplish overnight. Skeptics called them hoaxes, and in 1991, two men, Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley, claimed responsibility, saying they used ropes and planks to flatten crops. But after their confession, the circles didn't stop. They grew larger, more complex, and more intricate, as if the phenomenon had evolved beyond human imitation. Some formations appeared with no broken stalks, only bent plants, as if softened by heat or radiation. Soil samples showed magnetic anomalies and unusual energy traces, leading some to suspect forces far beyond simple human tools. Whatever their origin, the question remains: who or what is drawing these perfect circles? The Goseck Circle, Germany. In the quiet farmlands of Saxony-Anhalt, Germany, buried beneath layers of soil and time, lies one of humanity's oldest enigmas, the Goseck Circle. Predating Stonehenge by nearly 2 millennia, this Neolithic structure is believed to be one of the earliest known observatories ever built, a monument not for gods or kings, but for the sun itself. Dating back to around 4,900 BC, the Goseck Circle was rediscovered from the air in the 1990s, when archaeologists noticed faint circular marks etched into golden wheat fields, perfect rings that had survived 7,000 years. Excavation revealed a vast, 75-meter-wide earthwork made up of concentric ditches and wooden palisades, with 3 openings precisely cut into its perimeter. At first, it seemed like a simple enclosure, but when researchers mapped its orientation, the truth emerged. The 2 southern gates aligned exactly with the sunrise and sunset on the winter solstice. This meant that long before writing or metal tools, early farmers already understood the rhythms of the sun, marking the shortest day of the year with astonishing accuracy. The Goseck Circle wasn't just architecture, it was a solar calendar, helping its builders track seasons, plan harvests, and celebrate the cyclical rebirth of light. Yet within its inner sanctum, archaeologists found evidence of ritual sacrifices, suggesting it was also a place of ceremony where astronomy and spirituality merged. Lake Balkhash, Kazakhstan. In the heart of Central Asia, hidden among the windswept steppes of southeastern Kazakhstan, lies one of the planet's most baffling natural wonders, Lake Balkhash. Spanning over 600 kilometers in length, it's one of the world's largest inland lakes. But unlike any other, Balkhash is divided not by land or island, but by chemistry itself. From space, the lake gleams like a turquoise crescent. But a closer look reveals something astonishing. Its western half is freshwater, while its eastern half is salty, and the two sides almost never mix. The invisible line dividing them runs nearly straight through the lake, forming a perfect natural contrast. The secret lies in its geography. The western basin, fed by the Ili River, is shallow, constantly renewed by fresh inflow, and teeming with reeds, fish, and birdlife. The eastern basin, separated by a narrow strait, is deeper and isolated. Salts and minerals accumulate there over millennia, creating a briny, marine-like environment. The result is two distinct ecosystems coexisting side by side. The Great Blue Hole, Belize. Off the coast of Belize, surrounded by the turquoise shallows of the Caribbean Sea, lies one of Earth's most hauntingly beautiful sights. A near-perfect circle so dark and deep, it looks like a hole punched through the ocean itself. Known as the Great Blue Hole, this vast marine sinkhole stretches about 300 meters across and plunges 125 meters deep. From above, it appears surreal. A black blue eye in a sea of bright turquoise, outlined by coral reefs like a glowing halo. Over 100,000 years ago, during the last ice age, this spot wasn't underwater at all. It was dry land, a maze of limestone caves shaped by rain and rivers. As glaciers melted and sea levels rose, the caves flooded and their ceilings collapsed, leaving behind this perfect circle, a colossal reminder of nature's slow artistry. Today, the Great Blue Hole is part of the Belize Barrier Reef Reserve System, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a magnet for divers from around the world. Beneath its calm surface lie giant stalactites and stalagmites, frozen in time. But as divers descend deeper, light fades, oxygen thins, and life vanishes, replaced by layers of toxic hydrogen sulfide and eerie silence. In 2018, explorers Fabien Cousteau and Richard Branson mapped the sinkhole's depths, discovering ancient cave formations and a lifeless void at the bottom, proof of its ancient terrestrial origins. Seen from space, the Great Blue Hole resembles a black pupil staring out from the sea, as if the Earth itself were watching, reminding us that some of the planet's greatest mysteries still lie hidden beneath the waves. Stone circles of Senegambia, West Africa. Across the rolling savannas of West Africa, from central Senegal to the Gambia, lie thousands of mysterious stone pillars arranged in near-perfect rings. Known as the stone circles of Senegambia, they stretch across more than 30,000 square kilometers, forming one of Africa's greatest archaeological puzzles. At first glance, they may evoke comparisons to Stonehenge, but the Senegambian circles are far more extensive. Over 1,000 sites containing more than 28,000 laterite stones, each weighing up to 7 tons. Most are arranged in rings 4 to 6 meters wide, remarkably consistent in shape and alignment, an astonishing feat for builders who lived long before iron tools or written records appeared in the region. Archaeologists date many of the circles to between 3,000 and 1,500 years ago, older than some Egyptian monuments. Excavations have uncovered human remains, pottery, and iron artifacts beneath certain circles, suggesting they were used as burial and ritual sites, sacred grounds for chiefs, spiritual leaders, or revered ancestors. Yet not all contain graves. Some seem to have been built for ceremonial or astronomical purposes, perhaps aligned with celestial events or seasonal cycles. Siberian crater circles, Yamal Peninsula, Russia. Deep in the frozen wilderness of northern Siberia, the Earth has begun to open its own wounds. Gigantic, perfectly round craters have appeared out of nowhere across the Yamal Peninsula, one of the most remote and inhospitable places on the planet. The first was discovered in 2014 by helicopter pilots who spotted an enormous gaping hole plunging straight into the tundra. It was unlike anything they'd ever seen, edges smooth as if carved, debris flung hundreds of feet outward, and a frozen lake gleaming at the bottom. Soon, more began to appear. Scientists believe these craters are formed when methane gas, trapped for millennia under permafrost, suddenly bursts out due to rising Arctic temperatures. The explosions are so violent they eject tons of earth and ice into the air, leaving behind deep circular scars. But for the Nenets people, the native inhabitants of Yamal, these aren't just geological phenomena. They call them the doors to the underworld, warnings from the earth itself that something beneath is stirring. Whether seen as a climate alarm or a supernatural omen, one thing is certain. These mysterious circles are multiplying, and they serve as chilling reminders of how volatile our planet's frozen heart can be. The double crater of Pingualuit, Canada. Hidden deep within the frozen tundra of northern Quebec lies one of Earth's most striking natural wonders, the Pingualuit crater. Formed roughly 1.4 million years ago by a meteorite impact, it's an almost mathematically perfect circle, spanning about 3.4 kilometers across and plunging over 400 meters deep. Today, that ancient wound is filled with some of the clearest, most pristine water on the planet, so pure that it contains almost no minerals or life. The crater's isolation has preserved it like a time capsule, untouched for millennia, shielded by ice and silence. Astronauts have even used it for training and research, studying its shape and environment to prepare for missions to the Moon and Mars. From above, the Pingualuit crater looks surreal, a flawless sapphire eye gazing up from the Arctic wilderness, perfectly round, impossibly still. The Ring of Brodgar, Scotland. In the windswept Orkney Islands of northern Scotland stands one of the most haunting prehistoric monuments in Europe, the Ring of Brodgar. Built sometime between 2500 and 2000 BC, this vast stone circle predates even the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Originally, it consisted of 60 megaliths, though only about half remain standing today, each stone towering over human height and arranged in a near-perfect 104-meter wide ring. Surrounding it is a massive circular ditch carved deep into solid rock, an engineering feat still unexplained given the primitive tools of its time. Archaeologists believe it was a ceremonial or astronomical site, possibly aligned with the movements of the sun and moon. But its true purpose remains lost in the mists of prehistory. From above, the Ring of Brodgar looks deliberate, too symmetrical, too precise to be random. It's as if someone thousands of years ago wanted to speak to the sky, leaving behind a message only visible from above. Even today, under the dim northern light, the stones hum with an eerie stillness, a silent echo of a civilization that understood something about the heavens we still can't quite grasp. The Eye of Quebec, Canada. In the heart of northern Quebec lies one of the most extraordinary features on Earth, the Manicouagan Reservoir, also known as the Eye of Quebec. From space, it looks like a massive, shimmering ring, so large and perfect that astronauts often use it as a landmark when orbiting the planet. This colossal circle, spanning nearly 100 kilometers across, was carved into the Earth's crust about 200 million years ago when a gigantic asteroid struck with unimaginable force. The explosion vaporized rock, sent shockwaves across continents, and forever altered the landscape. Over the eons, nature reclaimed the crater, filling it with water, forests, and life. Today, it's a serene lake system surrounding the Île René-Levasseur, an island so circular that it looks like the pupil inside a planetary eye. The Devil's Marbles, Australia. Scattered across the scorched red plains of Australia's Northern Territory lies one of the most otherworldly landscapes on Earth, the Devil's Marbles, or Kalu Kalu as they're known to the local Aboriginal people. These massive, near-perfect granite spheres, some as wide as 20 feet, seem to have been gently placed across the desert by some ancient hand. Many are mysteriously balanced atop one another, defying gravity, while others have split cleanly in half, as if sliced by an unseen force. Geologists say they formed over millions of years through erosion and temperature changes, but even they admit that the precision of the shapes feels almost deliberate. According to Aboriginal Dreamtime legends, these boulders are the eggs of the rainbow serpent, a powerful ancestral being who shaped the land itself. The area is considered sacred, a site where spiritual and earthly realms intertwine. From above, the Devil's Marbles look less like rocks and more like a giant's playground, or the remnants of some forgotten celestial game. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this mystery, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories from our planet's hidden past.